All right, so it's about 8 o'clock, and we're going to get started. So today is our first time of international Agri-Talk activities in Taiwan. And this Agri-Talk, our topic is different agricultures in different countries. So today we're going to share about Taiwanese culture of traditional agricultural and also some of our agricultural products and also some of our agricultural different ways during agricultural. So, oh yeah, this picture over here. So we got three speakers today, and the first one is Liao
Wow, 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 wow.
and his topic is going to be rice culture in Taiwan. And the second speaker is me. And my topic is going to be 三合院. It's kind of like architecture, Taiwanese architecture culture in traditional agriculture. And the third speaker will be Yi, and she's topic will be stinky tofu and Chinese culture. So let's get started from stinky tofu and Chinese culture by eating. Yay, eating.
Okay, and hello everyone. My name is Tammy Hsieh, and I studied in agriculture economics. So today my topic is stinky tofu and Chinese culture. And the next slide. Yeah, and here is my content. First, I will explain why did I choose stinky tofu as my topic, and then I will tell you the background about stinky tofu, like what its ingredient or how to make it. And then we'll proceed to how stinky tofu related to Chinese culture is our main idea, right? And the last one is I will show you different types of stinky tofu in Taiwan. Okay, so first, let's start with why did I choose stinky tofu? Next slide. There are three reasons, and the first is we all know that stinky tofu is a special dish in Taiwan. We can find stinky tofu everywhere, like night markets or Chinese restaurants, something like that. And the next reason is as the stinky tofu's smelly can spread far, far away. Its name is also spread far, far away to all over the world. Many foreigners can understand. Every foreigners can access to Taiwan's culture from stinky tofu. Like many YouTubers or internet articles will say that foreigners' top 10 food they cannot accept, and stick blood cake and stinky tofu are always like got their first or second place. And the third reason is there is a quote said, if you want to beat your enemy and you must to understand it. And unlike most of my friends love to eat stinky tofu, but rather than me, the stinky tofu is the food I hate the most. So if I want to beat it, and so I need to understand it. And next, I will tell you the background about stinky tofu. You can see the picture on your right-hand side. Stinky tofu has two parts. The main part is the tofu, and the second part is the Taiwanese kimchi. But today we will focus on the tofu. And how to make the normal tofu? We need to immerse the soybean and boil it. And after we boil it, we need to separate soybean milk and the soybean residue. And then add the coagulant into the soybean milk and wrap it into one group then put it into the shaped mold. And after we finished making the tofu, how can we make it become stinky? Then we need to make the stinky brew. And how to make the stinky brew? We need to add salt on the mustard. For soften is stale and mustard is 芥菜. And after soften is stale, we can force the water comes out. And put this stuff under the sun. Let the natural fermentation for 3 to 4 months. And after 3 to 4 months, we can separate the brew and the mustard residue, and then add the soybean residue as I mentioned above into the brew and the fermentation again. And next slide. After we finish both tofu and stinky brew, we can finally put the tofu into the stinky brew, and the strand of the brew will stick on the tofu to destroy the protein of tofu. So the tofu can become a smelly. Yeah, and the immersion time depends on what levels odor you like. If you want it to become more smelly, you can put the tofu in a brew for a longer time. Yeah, and so here comes to our main idea today: how stinky tofu related to Chinese culture. There are many articles said the stinky tofu's appearance is a beautiful mistake, and there is a story about how stinky tofu appeared. The story happens in Qing Dynasty. Yeah, it's a long years ago. And there is a tofu vendor who prepared too much tofu but couldn't sort it out. But he didn't want to waste this food, so he tried hard to extend the preservation. And at last, he comes up with an idea. He adds salt and some species into the tofu, and put it in a box for a long time. And after he opened the box, he found that the tofu become green and black, and the bad smell come to his nose. But he still tried a piece of tofu, and he found that it's bravo and delicious. So after that, his store not only sold the normal tofu, but also the stinky and green black tofu. So that's why the stinky tofu appear on the world. Yeah. And this is the different types of stinky tofu in Taiwan. The first is fried stinky tofu of traditional Taiwan style. And Taiwan style, not like others, we will have Chinese kimchi on the stinky tofu. And the Chinese kimchi is not too spicy, it's just sweet and sour. And the second type is a traditional Hong Kong style, and it doesn't have Chinese kimchi. It will add some sweet soy sauce or cucumbers on the stinky tofu. And the third one is steamed stinky tofu, and there is also have stinky tofu hot pot and grilled stinky tofu. So stinky tofu is not only the origin related to Chinese culture. Next slide. And stinky tofu has become the famous access for foreigners to know Taiwan food culture. So that's why I will use the stinky tofu to present the agriculture in Taiwan. Yeah, so that is our presentation. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Yiting. And now let's get started with any comments and questions about stinky tofu and also other things you want. For example, I'm really interested in like the stinky tofu's history in Ming Dynasty. or Qing dynasty.
Qing,
But
yeah,
it's kind
Qing
of
dynasty.
Qing dynasty.
Uh-huh.
And why is it the vendor you say, is it in Taiwan or in China, like Chinese?
Actually, it's in China. The stinky tofu is the stinky tofu is only in China and Taiwan, but the origin is from China. Yeah.
Okay.
And it brings to Taiwan. Yeah.
So it also brings to Hong Kong, right?
Yeah.
Makes sense. Did anyone have any comments or questions about stinky tofu? Like me, I don't like stinky tofu at all.
Yeah, I hate stinky tofu too.
Yeah, me too. But it's kind of like a symbol of Taiwanese food and culture. It's really great. I hope I can try a good stinky tofu in the future. Welcome to come to Taiwan and you can try it by yourself. How does it taste?
How does it taste?
It depends on what kind of like the cooking process using
if you try the fried stinky tofu, and it must be a little crispy, not
crispy.
Crispy, and although the smell is bad, but my friend who loves the stinky tofu all say that it's pretty delicious. Yeah, but I never tried it because I'm afraid of the smell.
And also, stinky tofu is different from the original tofu because it got a taste of like kind of like a smoky taste. Like for example, the original tofu just tastes like tofu. It tastes like beans and a little bit of soybean milk. The taste, but for stinky tofu, it tastes like a smoky taste and also kind of like soybean milk, but a small soybean milk. I don't know how to explain the taste because it's kind of like really unique. So that's why some people really like stinky tofu, but some of them doesn't like it because the taste and also the smell of it is really unique and unforgettable. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and the preference to cook it. If you are first time to try the stinky tofu, I will give you the advice to try the steamed or the hot pot stinky tofu because it will reduce the smell. Yeah, reduce the bad smell a lot. But if you can afford the smell, you can try the traditional one. Yeah.
I will recommend you to try it with the fried stinky tofu because every food, if you fry it with the cooking process, just use fried, and everything will be really delicious.
A fried chicken, fried French
fries. So I recommend just try with the fried stinky tofu first, and if you like the taste, the smoky taste, and also the smoky soybean milk taste, and you can try it with another one like hot pot and also so on. So many of them. Yeah, really like it, but some of them just doesn't like it. Like me, I don't like stinky tofu at all, even though I'm a Taiwanese.
Me too.
It really depends. So, is there any questions or comments or feedback? If don't, we will go on with the next speakers. Oh, okay. My slide. So, hi everyone. My name is Lin Mingrong, and you can just call me Judy Lin. And today my presentation will be Taiwanese Siheyuan culture of traditional agriculture. So what is 三合院? What is this kind of like architecture in Taiwan? So first, if we go to Google Map and open, wait, next slide. Oh, last slide. First slide. Yeah. If we go to Google Map and open the map, you will see this. This is one of the picture of Tainan, the southern part of Taiwan. And the southern part of Taiwan is also the biggest agricultural planted place here in Taiwan. So you can see that. Well, I didn't finish it. I'll tell you if I finish it. So go on to the next slide. So if you see on the map, you'll see that the land will be like a little square, mini little square over here.
No. 要调时间吗？它要调时间呢。Okay. I don't know.
Okay. And you will see that the mini little square over here, it's kind of like the symbol of Taiwanese agricultural land of it. And the next slide. Also, you will see it over here. It's a little square land here of our plant land, and also the more. 不然直接这样。And also the most interesting of Taiwanese land culture is first one, little squared and small land, and the second thing is our house will be near by our farm, so it will be looking like this, like little square of land, and also houses over nearby the plant. And then the next picture, and also this is really like the modern Taiwan agricultural landscape over here. So it's kind of like this little square, and next to the little square of the farm will be our houses. So this is kind of like our history, is because of used to our ancestors come to Taiwan, and we're going to plant like rice and also other plants here in Taiwan, and they created kind of like a house and agricultural landscape of it. It's called 三合院. It's just made by the plant, their farm, and also the houses nearby. So this is kind of like a really simple landscape here in Taiwanese agricultural landscape. So the next picture. So what is 三合院 and what it come from? So the first one is we got two type of architecture style in Chinese architecture style. The first one is 四合院, and the second one is 三合院. 四合院 is founded and used in China, but 三合院 is our ancestor who come from China, who take this kind of like the techniques here in Taiwan, but formed it into 三合院 and make it to be the Taiwanese architecture, really simple and unique style here in Taiwan. So 四合院 basically is formed by a really spectacular gate, and inside 四合院 will be another gate, and the gate will be in the middle of the main houses, and also the right side and the left side of the main houses will be the second house and the third house. Yep. So it will make it the agricultural style with architecture style will be the main houses, which pointed with the first one, the symbol 1 number over here is the main house, and 3 and 11 will be the second houses and the third house. And you might get question with, oh, why we have to distinguish of the main house and the second house and also the third house. It will be the main house will be live with kind of like grandparents and also parents will be elder, and the second houses and the third houses will be lived by the more younger family members, like kind of your brothers or your cousins or others. So it made by it. The main houses will be the best house over there, and the right side, the second house will be the second one, and the third house will be the third one. So if you enter anyone's house, you will be like, you will know that who she is or who he is, just looking at which part of the houses he or she is living. So this is kind of like the culture of Siheyuan, and also the Chinese culture will be simply fused into this kind of architecture. And Sanheyuan will be like the easier part of Siheyuan, just contained with main house, second house, and third house. And then the gate and other kind of thing will be removed by the ancestor who come from Taiwan, just because of this kind of like Siheyuan, it's really complicated and really hard to build. So our ancestor who come from Taiwan just simply remove all the gates and other kind of like the part of Siheyuan and become the really unique and simple Sanheyuan here in Taiwan. So the next slide. Yep. So this is like the Sanheyuan, and really simple one here in Taiwan, in Taoyuan, the northern part of Taiwan. So you can see that in the middle one is the main houses, and the right part will be the second houses, and the third part will be the left part will be the third houses, and in the middle will be a kind of like the square over there. So the square there is for family members who like for weddings or other like kind of celebrations, and also like if the rices or they're planted will be fertilized and also planted or other things, or other like their relatives will come to their houses. The square over there is kind of like the symbol and also the place they do their celebration, and also kind of like other activities over there. So that okay, the next pictures, and also this is really unique, and also the symbol of Sanheyuan over there. So this is the permissions, the cake of permissions over there. So this is the square in Sanheyuan, and you can see over there is the main house and also the second house over there. So you can like easily to imagine their farm is just nearby, and their house in Sanheyuan is just over there. So it can be the really like symbol, and also the kind of like the landscape of traditional Taiwanese agricultural landscape over here. Okay, the next one. The next slide. And it's my kind of like the links I see. So thank you very much for listening to my presentation. If anyone have any comments or feedback or questions of this.
Okay.
So basically, our presentation is going to introduce about Sanheyuan, this kind of like a really unique architecture, Taiwanese architecture style, which is brought by Chinese, like the Chinese ancestor who come to Taiwan. But also here in Taiwan, we created our own architecture style, and which really influenced our agricultural culture here in Taiwan. Yep. So is there any comments or questions about 三合院 or about 四合院? Is it no, or you're still thinking?
I love this topic because I think this kind of architecture is really lived in my children's life. Because my grandmother's house is 三合院 before, yeah, and my grandmother is plant is great and some others I forgot, but yeah, that the family is really work hard in agriculture, and our ancestors is really all lived in 三合院. Yeah, so that's a pretty cool architecture in the Taiwan history.
Yeah, I agree with that. But sadly to say that because of the the modern part of Taiwan, so now fewer and fewer 三合院 will be existed here in Taiwan because of the modern building, and also they will remove the 三合院 to become like the factories and also other stuff by our government. So it really need to be preserved here in Taiwan because it's really unique and the specific things we need to be presented. But sadly to say that it will be fewer and fewer. And now if we open the Google Map and see on Taiwan's landscape, you'll see that now all the modern houses will be built and also replaced with 三合院. Yeah. Is there any questions or comments? If there's no, then we'll move on to the third speaker, Yusheng.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm the third speaker, Liao. I am now is agricultural science, and I'm share some interesting of Taiwanese rice culture and history. 1,300 years ago, Taiwan is the Northland, one of the Northland, the place. So the rice is indica, is more longer and more not soft. It's not soft rice is from Indonesia to Taiwan, and the rice Japanica is Japan at 1019 bring to Taiwan, and Taiwan is the most famous rice in Taiwan, and the taste is more faster than Taiwanese, and I'm sure some interesting food. It's called 爆凤梨汤 in Taiwanese, and the taste is sweet, and it was from the little rice, and it's exploding. It explodes when the the man will be crushed and will be crushed and it and for it oh my god. it it was the Taiwanese traditional food.
Come on.
Okay.
And I'll add something here about it. Bong mi pang is made by rice, and this kind of technique will be made by like this man will use the stick to press the rice, and also put it into this machine over there, and will make this bong mi pang. It tastes like with sugar and also rice and also peanuts inside it, and the sugar will mix all like the peanuts and mix the rice together, so it tastes like sweetie and also crunchy with it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you, Judy.
Welcome.
Next is the breast pork and rice, the most Taiwan famous food. And the right side is the rice cake. Is famous in south of Taiwan. And on this is sweet chili sauce. And this is sweetie. It's also sweetie and chili, some chili to take. One of my wow. I like the rice cake. And Taiwan is November 12, 22, and it was the winter solstice, and we eat the 汤圆 in 冬至. We call 冬至 is the winter solstice, and this is two of the 汤圆, and this was 鸡嘛.
That's amazing.
Yo, okay. And okay. Wait, oh no. And the next is the 端午节. It's called the Happy Dragon Boat Festival, and it was in the May 5th. And we also have the north. It is the middle of the food is 粽子, and we mix the meat and the pork and some rice in this leaf, and we take it into and we cook it, and it will be like the rice cake. And we also have the north and south different taste in Taiwan. So it was the rice influenced the Taiwan culture. Okay. My little sharing. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you describe about the taste of like the rice and also different kind of like rice dumpling and another stuff to explain that the taste and also why this is unique and why this is like a symbol of Taiwanese rice products?
I think it really did a great job because he combined the rice product and the festival and the agriculture, so that's pretty good. But for me, I have another rice product, like muaji. How to say that? Yeah.
Muaji, just muaji.
Machi. Yeah.
Machi. Yeah.
And it's also made by rice, and I like it the most.
Me too. We got different tastes, like different flavors of it. Peanut, season, and taro, and like strawberries and other like mangoes and grapes. Different flavors. Mochi is really delicious.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yep.
Okay. Yes, it's really getting harder and harder to see the screen when all of the rice products come up in the presentation. It's really great. Actually, here in Indonesia, we also have, I think, similar dishes from rice. The first one, the rice cracker that you give us in the first place. I actually have it in Bali. It's a traditional dish also. We make it like there are some different types, like the salty one and the sweet one, the one with toppings or not. There are many things for the rice crackers. And the last one, the dragon steamboat, the one in the Lunar New Year. We also have that in Indonesia, also made in Lunar New Year. So yeah, I think there are many similarities between us in terms of rice products, because Indonesia, Taiwan, and many other countries in Asia, we usually eat rice. We love rice.
We do love rice.
I know. We love it.
So what's kind of like the taste and the like the taste and also the kind of like is it creepy, chewy or creepy or crispy, like the kind of like product in Indonesia.
Product in here. The rice cracker, it is really crispy. We usually use it not just for food, but also we use it for offerings. Because in Bali, with the majority of people is Hindu, like the religion. So we have many like religious activities, and we use the rice crackers for offerings, or maybe when we go to some places, some of our families abroad or families, far families, we can bring them also. And for this dragon steamboat in Indonesia, I actually haven't tried it, but I definitely think that it's great, because many of my friends, they told me to buy it in the past, but I can't seem to get my hands on it. So yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Babu.
You're welcome.
So is there any other comments or questions about Yushen's presentation? The kind of the products here, the rice products in Taiwan. Is there any comments or questions about it?
Oh yeah, I have one. So I want to talk about the type of rice that is grown in Taiwan. Is it only like the indica type, or also the japonica type, or is there any other type?
Oh yes, it's also many other types. Is from Taiwanese farmer. It's very many local species from Taiwan. So Taiwan is one of the good rice in the world. About Japonica. Yeah.
And I'll add something just based on what Yushen said. Taiwanese people like to eat japonica rice, like specifically because we will be ruined by Japanese colonial for about 15 years. So during this kind of time, our Taiwanese people will be like kind of like ruined by Japanese. So the Japanese people will told us like and bring their japonica rice here in Taiwan. So right now we usually like on the market and also lots of kind of like the rice products will be made by japonica rice. But we do have indica rice and also just based on Yusen said, we got our traditional and typical rice type here. Like for example, the colorful rice, the black rice, and also the red rice here in Taiwan. We got our local species over here. Yep. Is that the answering your question? You're welcome. There's also any other comments or questions? If there's a no, then it will be sad to say that because 3 of our presentations will be all presented. So if there's no questions or comments, we'll be free to quit the meeting. And thank you for joining our meeting today.